What up, YouTube? We're back. I've given the we got the final coat on, the final black coat for now on. Keeping with what I said at the beginning, I'm going to paint this dark colors to light. You guys that know the Nismo logo, you know that the O in Nismo is usually red. So with that said, the first part of this I'm going to do is what's going to be red. What little of it is going to be red, and that's just going to be the O on each side. Now you have some choices on this. You can let your paint completely dry and start to peel the mask away, or you can let it set up to where it's tacky enough and just dry enough to where you can peel it away and it's not going to crack. One thing I found for me, and again, this is just the way I do it. If you got a better way, that's fine. Not letting it dry completely. You get cleaner lines. To me, you get cleaner lines. We all know that once you let paint set up completely, what happens with it is it tends to crack some. Especially if you're using a backing color. If you're painting light to dark and you back that light color up with a backing color like a backing white or a backing black, that backing color tends to get a little stiffer and a little harder, and it will crack away. So I like to let mine just get dry enough to where I can handle it good. You can see I can touch. I'm actually going to go back again and reset all my mask and make sure everything is down again in between coats, even in between highlight coats and some of the other stuff that I'm doing. I'll still go back and rub on my mask from time to time just to make sure that they're still sticking down as you work with this thing. Again, the one thing you don't want to do is for the paint to seep under your mask. So with that said, okay, and this is going to be kind of hard to do with and for you guys to see, but I'm just going to peel the O in the Nismo off. So I'm going to take, and you want to make sure you have a hobby knife with a good tip on it, a good sharp point on it, or if you got a vinyl picking tool, which I don't have, you can use a vinyl picking tool. Okay, but anyway, I'm going to take my hobby knife, and I'm going to work under the edge of the O. Just kind of work the hobby knife under there. It's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see. What I'll do is I'll get it started and then get it up to the camera a little bit more so you can see it. Very gently, and try not to scratch your paint away from the rest of the body. And I'm going to lift it up just enough for my fingers to grab a hold of it. So try to get it in there so you guys can see it some. Lighting's not that great, but you can see where it's peeled up there on the inside. So that's good enough. You can either continue to use your hobby knife, or for me, I like to use my finger. I can peel it a lot slower, and I have more control with my fingers. Plus, hobby knives usually tend to want to cut vinyl, so or you can use your hobby knife and your finger, which is what I'm doing here, and I'm just going to peel it slow. So I got nice crisp lines on that O. So you can see through the O on that side. And the lines are really crisp and sharp. Yeah. Really clean lines on where it, if you can see that, you can just see straight through it. Some really clean, crisp lines. So I'm going to work on the other side. I'm going to get that O pulled away and get it ready for paint. Since I'm doing red, I'm not worried about that soaking through this black. A black base is a pretty good protector itself. I don't know of any colors that'll soak through black, so I can keep on with this. But if I were working light to dark, I would wait on let this dry a little bit more, and/or again I would back it. The one thing about backing colors, I will say this: if you paint light to dark and you use a backing, excuse me. In order for that backing paint to really be effective, you have to let it set overnight. You have to. It has to dry and tack up in order to protect and keep other paints from soaking through. If it's still wet, if it's still damp, it's just going to absorb the pigment into the backing color itself. If you read the can, it tells you exactly what you need to do. But I found just letting it set up overnight and allowing it, you know, at least 24 hours to dry and set good, you can work right through and not have to worry about your colors bleeding through. Since I'm not concerned with bleed through on these just yet, and I'm painting dark to light, I'm just going to keep going through it for this video's sake anyway, so I can get this done and you guys can see it. So that's both sides. We got the O, which again is going to be red. Both sides, the Nismo, you can see it's going to be red. So we're going to get that painted up and get the red on that. Now I have a can of red that I've used on the Audi R8 body that still has some red in here. I don't need a lot, so I'm just going to use that since it's already open. And actually, I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm trying to use some of this. So we'll get the red started, and we'll be back with you shortly. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put both coats. I think I'm going to go 2 or 3 coats. I'm going to go ahead and get that on so you guys can just see it. We'll be back once that's done. Okay, YouTube. We're back. We got both coats of red on for that O. Again, like I said, I'm only going to do 2 coats of red on that. I'm going to back that with the white for the Nismo, for the rest of the Nismo. That's going to be in white. So we've got the red laid down. You guys can see, and it's the lines are nice and clean and crisp on there. Yeah, it's a slow process, but if you can see. So that is that color. I'm going to give that a few minutes to dry, and then I am going to start peeling away for the next color, which is going to be my green, my lime green. That is going to be this stripe in the hood and the dragon. That'll be green. And I think I am going to go with green on the back for the G Ready. I'm not sure just yet. As I get to peeling paint mask away, I'll decide that. Now, one thing I could have done with this paint mask is I could have left when I cut it, the 350Z was integrated into the Dragon itself. I could have kept that separate and overlaid the 350 over or under the Dragon, and then that would allow me to peel away the one or the other and paint them different colors. Like I could have overlaid the 350 on top of laid the Dragon down first and then overlay the 350 on top. And then once it dried enough, I could pull the 350 away and paint it one color and the Dragon a totally different color. That was an option. But I decided I just wanted to keep it all, you know, one color and all together for you guys, so I can get this video done and get it posted up. But that is an option. I mean, that would have been an option. I'm sure you guys will see some of that type work coming up if you just kind of, if you follow some of the other guys that have been using paint mask and from some of the stuff that I sent out. I won't go into name names and all that stuff. But if you just watch, you'll see. Actually, when At Ease did his tribal mask body, that's the way you get those separate, those different colors. You can lay the mask down and you can peel portions of it away and paint as you want to. One thing that I did forget to mention on this, and I'm going to go back, when I was setting the Nismo and the G Ready, for you guys who I sent lettering to, or you guys that get stuff that has really fine detail, that I've sent to you that you didn't weed, and it's on the instruction paper too if you follow along with the instruction paper. But anyway, when you lay that the mask down, and you get it stuck real good, that's where you would go in at that point and weed away the excess vinyl that you don't want. Now, one reason for not weeding, taking the excess vinyl, and that's all it is just removing the excess vinyl away from the mask portion. One reason for not doing that is like really fine lettering tends to want to move around on that paper, on the backing, the cardboard backing, because all that is like wax paper back there. So it's easier once that glue that's on the back of the mask has adhered to the body, it's easier for it to stay in place, and it's actually easier weeding those on the body than it is actually sitting here weeding. It is very, very, very time consuming and labor intensive weeding fine, intricate stuff like these dragons on the side. Pre-weeding that is yeah, it's some work because one, you can't see it, but maybe get up close, you can see the dragon's tongue in there. That's very, very, very fine detail, and it tends to want to shift around and move. They also tend to want to break because that's really, really thin cut. And there are parts of his tail that tend to want to move around and stuff. So pre-weeding those, I mean, you get to see the mask up front, but for ease of use, actually weeding those on the body is a lot easier because it's stuck. If you rub it down, all you're going to do is peel away the excess. You shouldn't get the mask is shifting and moving around. But anyway, I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I just wanted to go back and cover that. And if you follow the instruction sheet that I sent out, it tells you at that point you can, or what point you can pre-weed or you can weed stuff. It's pretty simple. Again, all you're doing is removing the excess vinyl away that you don't need, and that's all weeding is. So you guys hear me talk about weeding or having to weed mask. That's what I'm talking about. It is a time-consuming job. Even on letters this size, the Nismo. When I weeded those, they tended to want to try to move around on the paper and shift and stuff. So weeding them on the body, again, like I said, it's a lot easier. With that said, let's get started on our next color. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give that a little more time to dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do our green. So we'll be removing this front, and we'll also be removing the whole dragon. We're just going to do the whole dragon in green at this point, and just get this project ongoing. And I'm actually really interested to see how it comes out myself. So far, I'm loving what I see. So with that said, we'll be back shortly. We're going to give this red a little more time to dry. I don't want any bleed through, and I want to actually be able to go back and rub down the rest of the lettering again. So we'll be back shortly with the weeding stuff, or with the removal. Okay, YouTube, we're back. We're giving it some time to dry. Hit it with the blow dryer. So, time to remove. We're going to start on the dragon here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this corner with my hobby knife to get that up. And then I'm going to slowly peel it at an angle until the whole thing is removed. You want to take your time with this when you're doing these. To make sure that this paint has started to really cure up some more. So you want to make sure you don't crack your paint away. So I'm going to have to kind of do this away from to get it, at least get it started from the camera. So I can actually see what I'm doing and not make any mistakes. So you guys just bear with me here while I try to get this started. If I can get it up enough to where I can catch it with my finger, and then I'll start to pull it away with the rest of it away with my finger. If your mask starts to break away, it's not a big issue. Actually, I kind of like when it does that because then it gives me a spot to where I can not have to worry about peeling away paint, and which that did. It actually broke on the tip. So here we go. You guys can see where I'm starting to peel it away. And you can see it on the inside where I'm starting to peel it away. So I'm just going to grab that. If you can see here, I'm going to grab that and just peel it away slowly and at an angle. Don't worry if it starts to tear and break. You can, like I said, you can always go back and you can peel those pieces up with your hobby knife, which they tend to want to tear. Some. The good part is you can always flip it over and see where you need to peel and pull at. I think the key to remember when you're doing this is just to take your time, not get in a hurry, and peel nice and slow. This is a very slow process, YouTubers. So you guys bear with me if I get a little quiet. I just want to make sure I focus and concentrate on getting this off and getting it off right, and not pulling away something that I really need or want to stay in place. One other good thing is to make sure you have some really good lighting to work in. I've actually got photography light shining on, and then I got my desk light here to give myself enough lighting to make sure I can see, especially when you're dealing with a black paint like this. And this is peeling away because it's so fine. The detail is so fine. It's starting to, the mask is starting to break and rip in spots. But we'll get through it. We just got to take our time, be patient, work slow, and before you know it, all of it'll be gone. There we go. The other foot peeled away. We got a foot back here we need to get peeled away. One thing you can do to make sure if they're like little tiny specks of mask that break away and get in there, all I'm doing is using a piece of transfer tape to just dab in there and get the little specks of matte paint mask that have fallen off or broken off and staying inside. And I'm not sure if you can see that on there. There are a few little dots of paint mask that kind of broke away. I don't want those to get painted over. So clean them up as I go along if I can. But I will go back over it again before I even decide to put down the next coat of paint. Here we go. Very slow process, very slow. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see, if you'll be able to see that or not with the lighting. If I hold it at that angle, you can kind of see where it's all peeled away. And I've inspected it to make sure there's nothing stuck in there. So with that done, we're going to get working on the next side. Again, you just take your time, work at an angle if you can. If it breaks, don't get discouraged. Just peel what you can away and keep going. You can work from both sides of it just to see where you need to peel and what you need to, where you have areas that you can grab. And then just take your time. Don't be in a hurry. Now this other side is actually coming off really good and really easy. It is breaking and tearing away some of it, but it's actually breaking and tearing away in bigger chunks than the other side was. So I was actually able to pull quite a bit off on that last pull right there. Okay, YouTubers, just to keep this video on a short note, that's how much of it I've gotten away. I'm going to pause this video here and go ahead and get the rest of it cleaned up. To me, it's making no sense, and you guys sitting here kind of just watching me quietly peel this away. So we're going to pause, and once we get that peeled away, we're going to peel the front away, and probably go ahead and peel the back out and do that in green also, and we'll be back with you. Okay, YouTube, we're back. You can see we got the rest of the Dragon, 350Z Dragon, and we're going to go ahead and do the G-Ready in the green also. And we've gotten the hood, the little piece in the hood that we're going to paint with the green. We've gotten those masks peeled away, and we're just going to start. Again, we're going to start with a very light coat just to adhere. And then we'll build it to about 2 or 3 coats. And then once we get that done and it sets some, we'll get the white down, and we're actually going to back that green. We're going to back the red, and we're going to back everything that all of these paint masks. We're going to back all of those in white. And then from there, I'm going to shut it off for the night and give this time to cure, because I want to come back and back everything with a black. I just like it uniform under the bottom. So I'll give it a chance to cure overnight, and that way paint won't soak through. But that's where we're at. We're going to take a pause here and start getting some green down on it. As you can see, I got all the paint masks peeled away. Again, it's just a slow process. You just have to take your time. Try to peel at an angle if you can, and if you can't, just take your time. I mean, that's the biggest key that I can give to most of you guys is have the time and take your time to peel those out if you want your lines to come out clean. Anyway, we're going to pause here and start getting some green on, and we'll come back once we got all of the green paint in. Okay, YouTube, we're back. I've gotten all the green on, and for time's sake, because I do have to work tomorrow, I got the green on, and I went ahead and peeled away the rest of the Nismo. So you can see we've gotten the green in, and I also hit it with the dryer to help speed up the drying time on it, get it dried, at least enough for me to get my backing white, or my white on. And then once I'm done with that, that's where I'll pause for the night, and let it set up overnight. and I'll continue this tomorrow sometime. But I wanted to go ahead and at least get to the backing portion and getting the Nismo, the white on for the Nismo also. This green I want to back with white because it'll make it pop. The white backing behind that will make the green really pop and stand out and brighten it up some, because I do actually want that to stand out. Also with the red, backing that red with the white will make it pop and stand out. So we've gotten all of the green on. You guys can see the G-Ready's in green. We've gotten the hood stripe, just a single hood stripe, and we've gotten the Dragon, and we've got the Nismo, the rest of the Nismo mask peeled away. So with that said, YouTubers, we're going to pause it again here. The green has tacked up enough. I'm going to probably give it 5 more minutes to dry up just a little bit more, and I'm going to go ahead and get the white on, and I'll come back and show you that. And from that point, we'll pause it for the night, because I'm going to go ahead, when I do the white, this white that I'm using, I actually have an unopened can of Tamiya white that I'm not going to use, because I found actually a can of Spastic white, half a can that should be sufficient enough to get the Nismo, get everything back, and everything back that I need to back and allow it to dry overnight. So we're going to use that can and just keep that Tamiya closed. I'm not a big fan of Tamiya paints. I know a lot of guys like them. So I've actually had that for quite a while, and I've just dread using it because it seems, to me, Tamiya paints seem to be really, really watery and runny. But that just could be me. Anyway, we're going to get the white backing on this and get the Nismo painted white, and then pause it from there and stop this video for tonight and pick it back up tomorrow. When I post this, I may post this in 2 parts because of the sheer length of it. We'll see. I may not. I may just go ahead and try to compress it as much and chop out some of it. I'll get on the Mac and edit it some to try to keep it down for content. Keep it down, but I want to make sure I keep all the good points in there for you guys. But anyway, we're going to pause it here. I'm babbling now because I'm actually getting tired, but I do want to get the white in. We are going to get that far before we shut it down. So we'll be back in a few minutes so you can see how it looks. Okay, YouTube. You can see we got the white backing in there, and it's actually still wet. I just actually walked back in, sat it down, and started the video to record in an effort to try to speed this along. Haven't hit it with the dryer yet. I just wanted you guys to get a chance to take a look at it and see it, and you don't really need to watch me blow dry a body. Let's try to get it close up so you guys can see what the Nismo white with the red O on there. And if you look up the Nismo logo, that's exactly what it looks like. But anyway, that's what it looks like. We got the 350Z Dragon. We got the front with a green stripe. Excuse me. Allergy season for me. We got the G-Ready in the back. If you guys can see that. I don't know if the camera's focusing really good on there, but anyway, that's what we got. There we go, a little bit closer. You guys can see it. There's the G-Ready, the Nismo, and then the Dragon on the side, the 350Z Dragon. So, I'm going to hit it with the dryer, and then I'm just going to let this set overnight. Then we'll come back tomorrow and peel do the rest. I'm not a huge sticker person, but there are some stickers that came with this that I'm going to use, like the door handles, because I really didn't feel like masking and doing those. I mean, I could have done those, and I actually could have taped them off and cut it out and done those in silver, so it would have silver handles and everything. But just for this instruction video, I just want to go ahead and get this done so you guys can actually see what I do and how I do it, and the order that I do it in. Again, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. Is it my way to law? No, it's not. Are there others out there better than me? Yes, there is. Definitely there is. Just search, you'll see. There are lots of guys out there that are far better than me. Is my way with the paint mask definite? Nah. Experiment with it. If you got paint mask and you got enough time and enough money, and you want to experiment with it. I know my first time using them, I ordered extra just to give myself some playroom and some learning room. That's how I come up with the way I do things in my instruction sheet as the way I do things. It's not the law. It's not the Bible. You can always order extra paint mask and an extra body, or a cheap body, and just practice. As Tookie say, practice makes perfect. So it's just a matter of trial and error, practice. I bought a couple really cheap $10, $15 bodies, and I just practiced on them. By no means am I an expert. I'm sure that there are people out there looking that's probably going to see this video and say, they could have done that better, or I could have done things differently. But that's just the way I do it. That's what I'm comfortable with. That's just my way. It's not the law. It's not the Bible. It's just the way that I do them. Take from it what you need. The rest you can leave on the table. Anyway, that's what we got on this. We'll come back tomorrow with the wrap up on this video. Tomorrow I'll be just pretty much removing the window decals, the window mask, and deciding what I'm going to tint and what I'm not going to tint. And then I'm going to end this video as far as instruction wise. And what I'll do is, once I get everything else together, the decals on it, the wing and all that stuff, I'll come back with a Nissan 350 Nismo Dragon Edition video so you guys can see. This will be on the Sprint 2 Flux chassis. So I'm still trying to debate what wheels I'm going to throw under it. We'll see. But anyway, that's what we got on this one. We're going to pause this one. We'll pick this back up tomorrow with just peeling away the rest of the mask and going from there. What up, YouTube? It's your boy GGJ Fly Guy here with the completed video, the Nissan 350Z Dragon Edition. Here's the final product. As you guys can see, the paint mask came out really well. I'm going to get in close so you can take a really good look at it. That green pops against that black, really pops against that black. And as you can see, the Nismo with the red O on it. Let's do a walk around so you guys can see exactly how the mask and stuff turned out. I know I said I wasn't going to use very many stickers, but I ended up using the door stickers and the tail light stickers. I tinted the tail lights, but then I went back and changed my mind because I wanted to add just a little bit more color to it. So here it is, Nissan 350Z Dragon Edition. We'll get in close on that Dragon one more time so you can see it, and then we'll start around it. There's a Nismo where I use the Nismo mask, and then we get to the back of it so you can see the G-Ready, and then I'm getting real close so you guys can see the little license plate there. I found those online on eBay. A guy custom made them for me. Does pretty good work, but it's a slow process. I ordered them and it took almost a week or so to get them. But anyway, take a look at it. Custom Louisiana license plate on the G-Ready. We did add the exhaust decals and the other little backup light decals, also with the tail light decals. And then we go around on this side, same thing on this side, the Nismo and the 350Z Dragon. And I set it on the chrome wheels. I just think they really make it look good also, set it off some. And then you can see where I use the vinyl on the hood there, and I also did use the Nissan logo on the hood. But I did tint the headlights, tinted the windows, and then I also used a Z decal up on the wing back there. All in all, it came out good. I'm really loving the way this looks, especially out here in the light with that green paint. It really pops against that black. So you guys let me know what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy GGJ Fly Guy with the Nissan 350Z Sprint 2 Flux Dragon Edition. We're signing out.